Hello, I am Faniteja from LAS CNRS and I am here to present our IROS paper on Human-Aware Navigation Planner for Diverse Human-Robot Interaction Contexts. This work is co-funded by Artificial and Natural Intelligence Toulouse Institute, ANITI. Robots navigating in human environment should follow certain norms to ensure safety and reduce the inconvenience to the people. The field of human-aware navigation identified some of these criteria like proxemics and legibility and developed navigation planners that were deployed in crowds, supermarkets, airports, etc. However, there are some major environmental factors that affect these robots' social navigation behavior. These are the shape of the operating environment, the density of the humans in the environment, and the activities and behaviors of the human in these environments. For example, the robot moving in a crowd needs to be highly reactive to avoid bumping into constantly moving people, whereas the robot in a supermarket needs more precise or legible motion and approach behaviors to be included into the navigation. Planning in different human-robot contexts. There are various types of human-robot interaction contexts in which the robot needs to navigate. Some of them are presented here. The first one is the navigation in crowds. In this setting, the robot is more reactive and mainly focuses on obstacle avoidance and safety of the people. Some of the implementations in this setting can be seen in the pictures. The second one is the navigation in indoor spaces like homes or offices. Here, the robot motion needs to be a bit slower and more legible. The robot should also react properly by understanding the human intentions or reactions. Some implementation examples are shown in the pictures. The third one is the navigation in warehouses or supermarkets. These environments are similar to the previous one, except they are properly marked with aisles and lanes and some designated areas for the robot. These environments require some additional assistive features compared to a home robot. Some examples are shown in the figure. Finally, navigation in airports or malls is a mixture of crowd navigation accompanied with some assistive services and requires different types of planning. Note that beside the environment, context also includes the behavior or reaction of the humans in the vicinity of the robot. In the previous slide, we discussed different planning contexts and each of them has a different planning system. Designing a unified planner that works in multiple contexts like crowds, airports, homes, etc. requires some additional features like context recognition and adaptability to different contexts. This is a very new field, and one of the preliminary works done by Banisetti et al. Uses deep learning to recognize the context and a local planner based on multi-objective optimization. This work, however, is done only for the indoor context and do not include crowd or outdoor navigation. This work also does not talk about how the human's behavior in the close vicinity of the robot affects the navigation behavior. Our main contribution is a proactive navigation system that can handle different human-robot interaction contexts and can be employed easily in both indoor as well as the outdoor scenarios like crowds. We also detect human behaviors in the close vicinity and appropriately change the behavior of the robot. We call our system Cooperative Human-Aware Navigation (COHAN) Planning System. Some of the main features are listed below. It is a highly tunable system with adjustable parameters to suit the navigation setting. Some new human-aware constraints are implemented that focus on increasing the legibility and acceptability of the system. It includes various human path prediction methods and different modes of planning that switch by assessing the human-robot context. Finally, it is a proactive planning system that plans trajectories for both human and the robot. The advantage of this kind of proactive planning is that it elicits trajectories for all the agents in case of a conflict, which, if followed, will resolve the conflict. The code for our system is available online on GitHub. Now, I briefly describe the architecture of our system and discuss some details in subsequent slides. The system is built on a standard ROS navigation stack. We introduce various new components and changes that are highlighted in the red in the figure shown. Apart from the map, goal, and localization information, our system also requires the information of the tracked humans in the agent, humans in the environment. We introduced some new COSMAP layers called safety and visibility layers to improve the global planning. Next, our human path prediction method to suit Next, our human path prediction system offers 4 different types of path prediction methods to suit different needs. Finally, the core module, HATEB Local Planner, controls the navigation behavior of the robot. It controls the cost map layers depending on the human state assessed and set the planning state based on the human-robot context. It also contains various human-aware navigation constraints that can be added or removed based on the environmental context. Now we talk about different types of humans in our system. The figure shows different types of humans that determine the planning state as well as the addition of the cost map layers. Each human is associated with the state, such as static, moving, stopped, or blocked. The stopped state refers to the humans who were initially moving in the planning radius and then stopped moving. The blocked state refers to the humans who have stopped moving and cannot proceed due to the blocked path by the robot. We add cost map layers only around the static humans and within the planning radius to plan safe path around them. For moving humans, the HATEB local planner plans proactive trajectories and navigate the robot around them in a safe and legible manner. This proactive planning by HATEB local planner is done only for the two nearest humans apart from the robot to reduce the computational complexity of the planning system and to run in real time. Even with this limitation, our system shows promising results in the experiments of crowd navigation. Human path prediction offers a possible path of the human agents in the environment, which is then corrected by the trajectory planner. Our system offers four different path prediction methods. Predict behind plans a path, assuming that the human's goal is behind the robot. The predict goal method takes in a list of goals to a script and predicts the most probable goal based on the history of motion. Then a path is planned using this goal. Predict velocity is a constant velocity-based path prediction, which is done by extrapolating the velocity over time. Predict external method offers a ROS service that accepts external goal and uses the global planner to plan the path. This would be very useful to integrate some external goal prediction system. HATEB local planner is a core component of our system that is responsible for human-aware navigation behavior of the robot. It works in different planning modes and can shift between them based on the assessment of human-robot context in terms of both space and human's behavior. This planner uses human-aware timed elastic band HATEB approach that is inspired from the timed elastic band approach and includes humans into the planning. HATEB plans proactively for both robot and the human and offers better navigation solution in many intricate scenarios. More details about the implementation can be found in our previous works. As said earlier, HATEB local planner has four different modes of planning and switches between them as shown below. It stays in the single band mode if there are no visible humans and shifts to dual band mode as soon as there are some visible humans within the planning radius. If a human stops moving in the close vicinity of the robot and the robot's current path is obstructed, the planner shifts to velocity mode and starts replanning for the robot without planning for the human. Finally, back-off recovery mode is a special mode to deal with scenarios of no solution. For example, like a very narrow corridor where only one agent can pass at a time. When both agents are stuck in this scenario, the robot takes the lead and backs off to clear the way for the human. It continues its navigation once the conflict is resolved or after a timeout. The planner shifts to this mode if no solution is found in velocity mode for 10 seconds or more. The time chosen is arbitrary and can be adjusted to suit the context. The system can work standalone in either a single band or velocity mode. The dual band mode is, however, always accompanied by a shifting to remove some of its limitations discussed in our previous work. We add some new human-aware constraints to the HATEB local planner in this paper. The visibility constraint makes the robot move such that it is within the field of vision of the human so that there are no surprises when the robot arrives from behind. The relative velocity constraint focuses on increasing the legibility of the robot's motion. Enabling this constraint will allow the robot to show its intention by moving to one side and clearing the way for the human. In the close vicinity of the human, this constraint reduces the robot's velocity and stops the necessary directional changes that can confuse the human. The current system also includes the constraints from our previous works, which are safety, time to collision, and TTC+. Time to collision and the improved TTC plus constraints enable early intention show as described above and does not include any other advantages of the relative velocity constraint. The implementation details can be found in our previous works and our current paper. Now, I present the results of Kohan in various human-robot contexts, starting from the door crossing scenario. In this context, we have two different humans, one static and the other moving. The static human has two different orientations as shown in the video. The robot first faces the moving human and clears the way for him. Later, it faces the static human, and based on his orientation, it reaches the goal in two different ways as shown to stay within the field of vision of the human. Also, observe that the robot shifts to Velops mode in the first scenario to pass between the human and the wall. This mode has some reduced weights of the constraints, which paves a way for planning a different trajectory from single band mode. From the velocity human robot distance versus time plot shown, the velocity decreases as the human robot distance decreases owing to the relative velocity constraint. The same can be observed before shifting to Velox mode as the robot stops and assesses the situation before shifting the mode. Next, the narrow corridor scenario shows an example of back of recovery mode. As seen in the video, both human and the robot face each other in a narrow corridor, unable to pass. The robot first shifts to the Velops mode, and then when it fails to find a solution, it resolves to back of recovery. In this mode, the robot moves back until it can find some free space to move left or right and waits for the human to complete his navigation or for a timeout before it starts navigating to its goal. The plots shown on the left show different modes and the robot velocities over time. The robot moves with a constant velocity in the back of recovery mode, and the human-robot distance almost remains the same as the human starts moving once the robot starts backing off, as seen in the video. We have compared our planner with another available human-aware navigation planner, Timed Path Follower, in different contexts, and the results are shown in the video. As you can see in the video, Kohan performs as good as the other system or better in most of these scenarios. Finally, we present some quantitative results in terms of path length, total time, and the minimum human-robot distance. It can be seen from the table that Kohan performs better than time path follower in terms of time as well as the minimum human-robot distance. The path length is longer for Kohan as it takes longer deviation and tries to maintain more distance from human while navigating. Note that the timed path follower fails to solve the narrow corridor scenario. Next, we tested the Kohan in a simulated crowd using the PetSim ROS. During this test, the system completely operates in Velops mode and plans constant velocity trajectories for the two nearest humans. The robot successfully navigates the crowd, and by eliciting the solutions in the corridor, the robot moves to one side to provide way for the humans. Kohan is deployed on a real robot platform, Pepper, and tested in a few human-robot contexts. As human tracking is not focus of our work, we used a motion capturing system, OptiTrack, to track the humans and send them to the planner. The video shows the wide corridor scenario followed by the back of recovery test. Note that the back of recovery mode is slow and there are limited sensors in the back of the robot and due to repetitive goal setting in its implementation. This is a preliminary result and we plan to improve this in our future work. Finally, concluding, we proposed a new human-aware navigation planner based on ROS for multi-human robot context. We proposed and implemented a set of human-aware navigation constraints that focus on increasing the legibility of robot navigation. The proposed system is highly tunable and can be deployed easily in any human-robot context. New customer players added to the system improve the global planning, multiple planning modes in the local planner, and the ability to shift work in standalone or switch between them makes our system robust to different environmental settings. Proactive planning in dual band mode elicits possible solution to resolve conflicts. Simulation as well as the real-world experiments show the robustness of our system. The proposed system shows improved results in comparison to the available human-aware navigation system. Finally, the code and the installation instructions of our system are available on GitHub at the following link. These are the references of the papers and the images used in this presentation. Thank you.